guys, Tegan with my co-host Angel, Valentina, and Mia with the Blonde podcast. Today we're having an open debate about abortion with Don
and Xavier.
To start off, do you think abortion should be legal and why?
I think abortion should be legal. I think it should be legal because it allows a woman to have a choice on what she wants to do with her body and how it affects her financial stability, and her stability in general.
Okay, I'm going to jump into that, and I'm going to say I don't think abortion should be legal because, yes, it might be her decision, but say, for an example, she made a mistake with another guy. It was her problem, and she had all the thought process during that. So if that were to happen and she were to have a child, you're killing a living thing, no matter how old it is.
I think that abortion should be legal, but like to a certain extent where like you can't just get it for no reason. Like he said, if someone got raped or incest or something like that, is where you can get an abortion.
I agree with that. I agree with it should be to a certain extent, but I also feel like my perspective, it's not a personal opinion. My personal opinion is I wouldn't have one, but general, I think it should be allowed because like I said before, like you never know what somebody's going through. At the end of the day, yes, they did make that decision while doing what they did, but you never know what's going on deeper within that.
Now we have two new guests.
Joel.
Ozzy.
Do you think abortion should be legal and why?
Yeah, I think it should be legal because if you can't take care of a kid or you get raped or something like that, God forbid, you shouldn't have that. You shouldn't have to carry that burden, put that burden on that baby, and because you can't take care of them financially, you know what I'm saying?
I think abortion should be legal because if you are doing things with another person and things go wrong and something happens, and you can't do anything about it, and you can't have a kid at the time, like you might not be in the right place to have a kid, I think abortion should be legal because of that.
You can't really say that because if you're having sexual interactions with someone, you know what you're getting into, you know the risk that you're putting up.
I think that, yes, you do know what you're getting yourself into, but even though you know what you're getting yourself into, at times you can be forced into doing things that you don't want to, and you never really know what can happen. Maybe in the moment you feel like you do, and then you change your mindset and you feel like you don't want to. You don't have a choice to go back on that. And yes, that does fall on you, but at the same time, I feel like since it does fall on you, you should be able to have the option. If you do get pregnant, you could have a chance to get an abortion and to fix your life. You never know what's going on in somebody's life. So why do their actions in that specific moment have to define the rest of their life?
This is Angel. So, Don, do you think a child should be allowed to have an abortion without parental consent?
Yeah, I do believe a child should have the choice to go into a clinic and have an abortion without their parent having to give the consent, because at the end of the day, a lot of kids are very scared of what their parents may do. I know myself in personal experiences, I've been scared to tell my parents something. So for me to sit there and be pregnant and then have to go and tell them that I want to get an abortion is something that no child and no person in general should have to go through. I think it should be up to the kid, and if they feel like if they tell their parent would be able to support them, and if they can't and they want to get an abortion, they should 100% have the choice to go and have an abortion. And you know, I think it really depends on the kid and their relationship with their parents. So yeah.
Ozzy, do you think a minor should be able to get an abortion without parental consent?
Yeah, because as a minor, I get it that when you kind of have those acts, you take that responsibility and carry it. But at the same time, it's not fair to the baby to like have a life, like kind of have that life where it's like you don't have the needs and the capabilities to take care of that kid. And I will understand why someone would want to get an abortion, even if the parents say otherwise.
Joel, do you think a minor should be able to get an abortion without parental consent?
I think they should have to tell their parents about it because that's a decision for the whole family to make because the parents are going to be involved in the child's life as well. So I think that's a whole family decision.
Xavier, do you think a minor should be able to get an abortion without parental consent?
Although I don't agree with it completely, I don't think they should have they don't have to ask their parent because not every parent knows what's going on inside of them, like, at all. So I don't think they should have to ask a parent.
If you were a parent and your daughter got pregnant, would you allow her to get an abortion, yes or no?
I wouldn't allow my child to get an abortion because, I don't know, in a way that kind of changes my perspective because it's like my own kid. I myself wouldn't have one, so to sit there and see my kid have an abortion when I know I could support them kind of goes against some of the things that I believe in. So no, I wouldn't allow them, but I would be open to having that conversation with them.
Personally, I wouldn't allow them. Like, piggybacking back on what Dom said, with I'll be able to be there to support them. You know, just me, I wouldn't let them.
Like Dime said, yeah, I wouldn't have an abortion myself either. But I don't think I would have my daughter have an abortion because it's like, see, if I wasn't it also depends on the way. If it was rape or something, probably yes. But if it was willingly, I don't think I would because she, like I said, she knew the consequences she got into, and it happened. I don't think you could change that.
But Valentine, would you like have the conversation though? Like, let's say your daughter came up to you. She was like, Dad, this happened, and you know, like, I'm pregnant now. I want to get an abortion. Would you have that conversation with her?
I think I would sit down and have the conversation. I'd try to somewhat understand, but I don't know if I would myself let her have one because, like Dime said, it's really different. And, yeah, I wouldn't know. I would have a conversation down and sit down with her and try to understand where she's coming from or try to convince her to not have one.
If my daughter were to come to me and say she is pregnant and she want an abortion, I'd be like, yeah, but mostly it depends. I'd be like, how'd that happen and what were the circumstances? And I'd talk to the guy who got her pregnant, and I'd sit them down and we would come to the conclusion whether or not they wanted an abortion or not, for real.
If my daughter told me she was pregnant and wanted to get an abortion, I would let her because she's too young to have a kid and she just would have too much going on for herself. And I know that my daughter wouldn't be able to handle a kid at a very young age like that. So I would be okay with the abortion so that she could focus on better things.
Thank you, everyone, for coming in and putting your opinions. This is the end of the Blonde podcast. See you next episode.